Well, welcome back, and we've been talking about Robin Hood, fact or fiction, and today we've come to Carcassonne Castle in France to have a look at where they filmed Robin Hood the movie, part of the mythology that's developed around this character. We'll go on now to talk about some of the fairy tale and some of the reality behind that man. Well, welcome to our final lecture in the series on Robin Hood, myth or legend. And today we're going to just very briefly discuss whether he's real or not and whether it's important. I think the whether it's important bit is really up to you, whether you decide whether it's important or not. Most people now would consider that Robin Hood was a myth. He wasn't actually a real person. He may be a blend of people. He may be a blend of stories. But most critics would consider that he now isn't a real figure. Academics would consider him to be partly myth, partly legend in many ways, and no one will ever really know for sure whether the Robin Hood that's in all the stories and all the ballads and all that great mythology is a real king, is a real figure, sorry. And even if he wasn't real, people would still go to Nottingham, as I did. They'd still go and have a look at all the Robin Hood legend stuff. They'd still go and have a look at Sherwood Forest. Because as we talked about in the second video with the hero's journey, people like that sort of thing. Is he real? No. Beginning in the 15th century probably, and even earlier, there was a Robin Hood figure created, and then right through to the 19th century, he was still being popularised there. Even as far back as 14th century England, he was seen as a rebel against the establishment, where he helped farmers against landholders and peasants against lords. He certainly was a figure in the feudal system that fought against those things. There are some legendary evidence that a non-fictional figure existed as a criminal, existed as a man who lived outside that feudal system, and perhaps that's what created this myth and legend. But whatever it is, it's still been very fascinating. So it's nearly impossible to decide myth or legend. It's what you believe, and does it really matter? We hope you really enjoyed this series on Robin Hood, and we've certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. It's important to think about the monomyth or the hero's journey. If you get nothing else out of this little short series, go back, have a look at the monomyth, have a look at Joseph Campbell's A Hero with 1,000 Faces, because I think that's what's important coming out of this sort of mythology, that there is a general mythology and a basis for story writing and narrative that will help you in all your studies, no matter what you're looking at, no matter what kind of novel you're studying. Thank you. Well, that's the final in our series on Robin Hood, myth or legend. We hope you enjoyed looking at the idea of the myth and the legend and having a look around England and France at Robin Hood's famous spots, I suppose. Don't forget, look out for next week's video. Let us know what you think. Goodbye. Well, we hope you enjoyed our Robin Hood series. If you liked it, look at the stuff down there, because it will help you far more. Join us again. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, and see you later.